Ready to crown another champion. Welcome into quarterfinal Sunday. There's a look at the experienced boss of this Nebraska program in his 23rd season, a winning percentage close to 70%. Earlier this year, he picked up his 300th win with this Nebraska program, and this is a look at his 11th.
Watch for J.C. Johnson. She's fast, she's dangerous around the goal, and she leads Nebraska with 24 points. She'll be the engine for this Nebraska attack today.
Michael Moynihan directing this Northwestern team, and he talks about his side's relentless work ethic. Second best goals against average in the conference. That gives them the foundation. The question is, can they find enough goals this afternoon?
Well, we'll find Nani Mehta in the middle of the field. Coach Moynihan dubbed her the rock of this team. She's the leader for Northwestern, and she'll organize and drive this team in today's Big Ten matchup.
Both teams, it will be a big challenge to break one another down. 4 consecutive shutouts, 9 on the season for Aubrey Corder, the freshman goalkeeper for Nebraska. The other end, Laura Clem, the junior, setting conference records already in just her 3rd season. Wearing their white shirts at home, it's the Wildcats of Northwestern, the 3rd seed versus the 6th-seeded Nebraska Cornhuskers. A little windy as it usually is on the shores of Lake Michigan, but the sun fighting to peek out and warming up this Sunday afternoon a little bit as there's J.C. Johnson, the usual rambunctious attacker for Nebraska. Wears number 19.
She's been so impressive. She's had such an amazing career for Nebraska, coming off of a big ACL injury. And we asked Coach Walker about it. He said it's not even an afterthought right now. She's done so well this season to get herself back in shape, get herself back in form, and she's just led this attack.
5 games back after that injury, and yes, as Jackie mentioned, she just keeps getting better every game. Vigiano. Now it's Nebraska trying to escape. 1v3, J.C. Johnson. She's got the capability, but just too much cover back as it's finally pushed out by Hannah Davison.
And that's a matchup that we'll see all game long. J.C. Johnson against Keila Sharples and Hannah Davison. She'll just kind of sit in between those 2 center backs, look for counterattack. She's so fast and just wants the ball at her feet all the time.
First foul of this game is Northwestern coming off of an overtime win versus Illinois. Speaking of Keila Sharples, she had the winner. So swing this in with a little bit of a breeze. Back post. Clem is there to claim it. As it was Miramontes, the older of the 2 Miramontes women playing for this Nebraska team. There's Sydney.
She is so good on set pieces. You'll see her take them from all different ranges. She can just kind of place it on a dime wherever she wants that ball to go, and she's so consistent with them as well.
Younger sister Sinclair Miramontes, the freshman too, they're very high on her, becoming a great defender in this conference as it's recovered by the Wildcats.
Interesting matchup between these 2 teams. You'll see the ball out wide for Northwestern a ton because Nebraska's in a 3-back right now, and then the 2 midfielders sit in front of them almost in a block of 5. But if Nebraska can find that ball out wide and attack in those wide spaces, they'll be able to pick apart this Nebraska 3-back.
Is that a vulnerability, just having 3 in the back for Nebraska?
It is, but you'll see their midfielders sit so deep and be very defensive-minded, so it is almost like a 5-back situation. It's almost more Northwestern has to sort it out defensively because they also attack with 5 as well.
Smith recovers it for the Wildcats. It's Meg Brandt checking her options. This is Hansen. She's got the incredible timing, number 8 for Nebraska. Just seems to arrive in the penalty area at the right time, and here long range, it was Clausen giving it a hit. "36 career clean sheets for Lauren Clem, goalkeeper of the year in the Big Ten Conference. She had 14 shutouts this year, playing every minute.
She's got that very calming presence, which is so important in your goalkeeper. You don't see that presence very often. A lot of times it can be a chaotic, almost nerve-wracking type situation, but for a goalkeeper to have that calm, consistent presence just calms the whole team down in front of her.
Well, showing it's not going to be early down that left side. It's Carolyn Bilt having to deal with Smith. Not making life easy in the early part of this match for Nebraska. Miramontes' switch is read by Northwestern, and the collision in the midfield. Down was Miramontes. And it's Zampa. Pops right back up. There she is, number 25 in white for the Wildcats. So good to be next to a pro who plied her trade at the University of Illinois and the Chicago Red Stars. Jackie Manning, now fortunate enough to hear her wisdom in the booth. I'm Dan Kelly along with our BTN crew. This is fun. This is the start of the tournament, the quarterfinals launching off this afternoon. As we mentioned at the top of the show already, one big upset, Rutgers 2-0 over Penn State. They're out.
It's kind of what makes the Big Ten tournament so exciting is I feel like everything's kind of up in the air. Everybody's just so excited to get into it. And one thing that Coach Walker actually brought up is that if you make the Big Ten tournament, your chances of making the NCAA tournament are so high. So everybody's confidence is high. Everybody's just kind of ready and driving off of that enthusiasm and excitement leading into this time of year.
And that's what separates it from other sports in the conference. Nebraska coming off of a 1-0 win over Iowa on senior night. It's the flag coming up for the first time. Ready to unleash that shot was Cassidy Gorman.
It was a great through ball by Michelle Chernesky. You'll see just an in-swinger right in between those two center backs.
She's right-footed, Sinclair Miramontes. Playing on the left side. It's Haley Hansen. Secures it long enough. But it's Hannah Davidson back defensively for the Wildcats. Showing that hunger on the ball in the midfield. It's Nebraska again. As Bilt switching the conversation. On to Hansen. But Vigiano up with it for the Wildcats. Little combination with Zampa, a little too much time and room. J.C. Johnson the other way, but the flag is raised as well this side of the field.
And that's what makes Nebraska so good, is that they're so quick in transition. See here, she takes 2 touches on the ball, gets her head up, and right away is trying to find J.C. Johnson right in those little lines in between the center backs. Just a step off sides, but you'll see her kind of poach right in between the 2 center backs or between the center back and the outside back, just waiting for those through balls in on goal.
The speed and timing of J.C. Johnson can cause some sleepless night for defenders. And just 5'3", and as Coach Walker pointed out, that doesn't stop her from being pretty good in the air.
It doesn't, and she just has that drive. She's constantly influencing the players around her just based off of her passion alone on the field. She wants the ball all the time at her feet, and that's scary as a defender.
There you saw just the clever little small play, but she does it all game. Number 16 there, Nandi Mehta, has been such a big part of this midfield, but here it's Nebraska. Reinhardt runs into some congestion.
Going back to Mehta, she's just so fun to watch play. I really like her just because she's kind of flies under the radar a little bit. She's not a lot in the spotlight, but she does little things on the field that kind of stick out to her teammates. She's a leader, she's aggressive, and she's just that engine in the middle, that rock for Northwestern.
Saw a fearless example of her play there. Courtney Clausen under duress, able to shield Zampa off the ball. Searching for J.C. Johnson there, but it's Mehta for Northwestern. Visions there of Cassidy Gorman, but just tapped back to the keeper by Peterson. Johnson uses her body well there to push off the defender, trying to open up some space. Brandt spots built over to her left, swings it in just out of range for both Johnson and Hansen, who were moving in.
See Mehta here in the midfield, a great challenge here to try and keep that ball alive. Just a little example of that big heart. And then Nebraska's offense, great job at picking apart and pulling Northwestern's backs apart. And then that outswinging ball deep into the back of the six, just missed two Nebraska forwards.
So far, the most dangerous moments have been those long, direct passes from both teams.
Yeah, we've seen two great balls in through the defense. Here's another one from Mehta.
And going down to ground, some shouts from the supporters. They keep playing on. As Gorman takes it end line. Chernesky scoops it into the area. Caught up to by Nakia Smith. So we look at Mehta's most recent work.
There's another diagonal ball in from Mehta. Late tackle, but great job to keep that ball in front of her.
So a deep throw here for the Wildcats. Got it away.
I like how Northwestern is attacking this Nebraska formation. Sometimes it's easy when you're playing a 3-5-2, 3-4-3 system to get pinned a little bit, but they're sending their outside backs. Right now you can see Nakia Smith way up towards the box. Very aggressive in their attack right now.
Cassidy Gorman has been burning a trail down that left side. It sneaks its way into the area, but there's Miramontes to drive it away. Brandt begins the attack. J.C. Johnson there tangled up with Chernesky, and the foul called going forward.
Great job by Chernesky to drive back. It is not an easy task to catch up with J.C. Johnson, but she does a great job to body her way between Johnson and the ball and keep possession as well as draw a foul.
I think that's what irritated J.C. Johnson so much, surprised by Chernesky, because
Somebody's
that's what
keeping up with
JC
her.
usually does too, but using
Exactly.
her body to push off.
Exactly.
Long ball by Sharples, leaving her line as the freshman keeper, Aubrey Corder. Making her 19th start, Corder, and not a surprise. They feel because of her size that she's going to become a dominant keeper with dealing with crosses and corners. Clausen loses it in the midfield. But they're anticipated out of the back by Sinclair Miramontes. And here comes Nebraska. Some numbers joining, but just a little crossed up there.
That was Carolyn Flynn on the ball. She's big time in that outside mid position. She's so versatile. I think she's played every position for Nebraska in her career. But she's just a great soccer player. She's very smart, but she also has that tenacious competitive edge as well. So she is so dangerous on that outside flank.
There's Flynn looking for any scraps. Zampa. Thwarted there by Reinhardt. Jabbed loose, but still pushed forward by Northwestern. It was Sharples awkwardly up to it, but the Wildcats are able to keep it. Bump forward by Vigiano, almost creating some problems. Do you give the advantage to any team here in the early moments still?
No, I've been impressed with both teams. I think both teams have settled. Sometimes when you get to this Big Ten tournament, nerves take over. You see a lot of direct play. But I've been impressed with both these teams in their possession. They're both trying to play. They're both building their attacks, and the defenses have been strong as well. So I think it's been a fairly even game so far. You definitely see Northwestern with this lower confrontation line, so they're not having a ton of pressure on the back. So there's a ton of chances like this where you see deeper balls coming in diagonally, trying to find a forward up top.
There was Peterson. It was dummied by Brandt as the focus, and for good reason, has been to try to get number 19 the ball for Nebraska, J.C. Johnson. She has 11 goals on the season. Chernesky stumbles, but there's Davison to pick up the pieces. Just lunging there and jabbing it loose was Miramontes. Having to hold up for it is J.C. Johnson. Some clever little moves by Brandt trying to break her way in. Going down to ground there, Zampa helps the Wildcats keep the ball moving upfield.
Good job by Nebraska, though. You saw Northwestern's back five all over the place just because of the numbers and the spaces that Nebraska likes to send players forward in. It's a handful to deal with defensively.
Here's Smith. They tried her up front a little bit. Some injuries, moving players around, but back to the right back spot for Smith, a position she played her first 2 years here at Northwestern.
Northwestern substitution number 17, replacing number 29.
So some subs here with just under a half hour to go in the opening half in Evanston, Illinois. Zampa's down, and Nebraska's ready to break the other way. And things getting a little chippy for the first time this afternoon.
Lots of emotions, lots going on in these big Big Ten games. We've seen a ton of physical challenges here. You see just a late tackle. She kind of gets her body in front of the ball, and then left leg comes in as Nebraska was on their way through that line.
Jarentowski right off the bench and involved in a little minor dust-up in the midfield with Courtney Clausen here, scooped towards the 18. Hanging around is built, but it's the Wildcats emerging with it. Jarentowski, part of the physical confrontation moments ago. They're showing some nice moves.
She's one of those players that is just so creative, but also composed on the ball, like you just saw.
Zampa will push wide. Jarentowski. And both services are quickly moved out of harm's way by the Cornhuskers.
Here's that creative trickery by Jarentowski. Just a quick fake like she's going long, tucks it in towards her left foot, and then is able to keep possession for Northwestern.
This is a confident Northwestern team at home. The only Big Ten team to go unbeaten at home this year. They would like that first goal as well, as it was Meta with the look, but couldn't get it through the traffic. They've only conceded 1 goal at home, Northwestern, so good luck Nebraska today. Nine wins and a draw at home. Is there a dangerous ball? Breezes by Meta and allows Nebraska to clean it up. As Gorman unable to hold it.
Hannah Davison for Northwestern, though, doing a great job at staying composed and setting play from that back line. Nebraska's, except for J.C. Johnson, everybody else is kind of holding a lower confrontation line. So those 2 center backs for Northwestern have a ton of time and space on the ball.
They're getting positioning on Cassidy. Gorman allows Nebraska a little breathing room. Nebraska out shooting Northwestern 3-2. Vigiano calming things down in the midfield. Chernesky now over to her right. It's Nakia Smith. Late in the area. Maddie Lucas was nearest. $11 wins on the year for Nebraska's. Here comes Brandt. J.C. Johnson to her right, launching it high and wide over the crossbar. Probably the best look for Nebraska today.
See Meg Brandt up the ball, attacking the center backs of Northwestern. J.C. Johnson pulls her run out wide, gets herself some space, and sends it right over the crossbar.
Those numbers good for second in the conference. The word that Coach Walker describes J.C. Johnson really right from the beginning, because she learned from a couple of great seniors in Romero and Jackson when she was a freshman, but saying that, yes, J.C. Johnson is a lovely young woman, but she's got that loud voice and a lot of charisma that likes to lead on the field.
Her work rate and constant kind of go mentality, no matter what's going on in the game, Coach Walker said is just so influential and so motivating to her teammates around her.
Dealing with the pressure well there was Lucas, but it's recovered by Nebraska. The breakup in the midfield from Meta. Lucas searching for the outlet valve.
And Lucas is bringing a little bit of a different dynamic to this Northwestern attack. Northwestern struggles to really hold the ball up top, well, especially since Lavera's been out with her injury. So Maddie Lucas, just in these little 1-2 situations, she likes to stay higher. She keeps the ball at her feet, and it'll allow Northwestern to get numbers forward into the attack more often.
John Walker, we mentioned, part of that fan club watching J.C. Johnson's work over the last couple of years.
And Coach Moynihan even talked about how much he enjoyed watching J.C. Johnson play her last 4 years as well. He said he's a big fan of how she plays on the field.
Both coaches, not surprisingly, respecting one another's programs and the way they play. And especially you talk about a challenge this year for Michael Moynihan and the Wildcats. Delivered injury adversity early in the season, but something that he's kind of just emphasized since he got here is here come the Wildcats. Jarentowski walks into the area. She has some options. It's Miramontes going down to ground to break it up.
I think you see Jarentowski here just a little bit surprised at how much time and space she has on the ball. You see her drive into this box, and Miramontes keeps dropping, but a great job of defending by Sinclair Miramontes. A great flick there by Maddie Lucas. Has time and space to just drive in, but such a good job by Sinclair Miramontes to drive back, slide, keep that ball from getting slotted across.
Ripped across the face of goal. Comes down conveniently for Gorman. Headed towards the net by Meta, but into the waiting hands of Quarter. This is all of a sudden more of a lively attack from Northwestern. Gorman a little space. The cross.
I think Maddie Lucas stepping into this high target position for Northwestern has made such a difference in their attack. In the last 5 minutes or so, they've had a ton more opportunity and generated so much more offense.
She's been covering a lot of ground.
Covers a lot of ground, gets herself in right spaces to get the ball, and keeps it. It allows for Northwestern to actually get their numbers forward.
Now a little opening here. The shot and no spillage. It was Brandt with the drive. J.C. Johnson was lurking for any drop balls.
You see a clearance here from Sharples that goes right into Nani Meta. Takes her touch, and then a good job, great positioning by Lauren Clem.
You think if Brandt had a chance to do it over again, she might have utilized J.C. Johnson over to her left?
It was kind of a 2v1 situation for Nebraska, but a good job by having two forwards into that attack ready to pounce on those balls. That's why they're so dangerous in transition.
And the key is she hit the keeper with the shot, so the potential for a mistake. The JC would have been right there to clean up is here. Under 18 minutes to go in the opening half from Evanston, Illinois. This is Nebraska behind the ball. Courtney Clausen runs into a roadblock and is called for the foul as we look at that Nebraska chance again, the 2v1 situation.
Great diagonal ball in. Takes advantage of a misclear. Meg Brandt tries to get it up and over Lauren Clem and just misses that right side of the frame.
Davison brings it back in. Shepherded out by Sinclair Miramontes, and a little more gamesmanship too between these two teams. Is down is Jarentowski.
So that ball come in high and deep Miramontes and Jarentowski come in, and I think Miramontes just catches her with 2 feet off the ground.
Meta takes it away from J.C. Johnson. Only one corner kick in this match, and that was awarded to the Wildcats. So the wind has seemed to calm down a little bit here the later the day has gone on. Misplayed by Brandt. Just knifing that through was Haley Hansen. As a back and forth in the midfield here between both teams.
I think things are getting a little bit more physical. Plays starting to get faster, so we're seeing a little bit more of a direct style play in the last 5 or so minutes. These backs just have so much time, each team playing a more compact defense where they're not pressing the backs. So they have a ton of time on the ball, but most of them just going long.
Jarentowski has been influential coming off the bench here for Michael Moynihan's Northwestern Wildcats. Sharples in the back, has to watch it. There's J.C. Johnson, that initial heavy touch, and it ends up being an easy clearance for Northwestern. But that mentality we were talking about earlier from Michael Moynihan and Northwestern is they've emphasized the culture and the work habits and really that they're better as a group than individuals mentality. And they don't have that one standout player, and especially with injuries this season, that mentality seems to be working out fine.
Yeah, I said the chemistry of his team is what kind of drives them. I think that's why this Big Ten regular season championship is so impressive to me. You see Chernesky on the ball in that defensive mid position, trying to free up Jarentowski on the right side. Jarentowski's been so active on that right side.
Northwestern co-champions this year with Minnesota and Penn State, and Penn State knocked out earlier this afternoon by Rutgers in quarterfinal play, 2-0 the final score. And Minnesota up 2-0 on Indiana late in the second half. This is Smith. Probing, looking for an opening 1v2 off of a Husker, a corner upcoming.
Much for Kayla Sharples and Hannah Davison in the box here.
Lucas the delivery, pops around a bit. And the hit from distance, the best save from Aubrey Corder here in the opening half. Rare miscue by Sinclair Miramontes. Moving forward, hungry to make amends, but instead it's the Wildcats behind it. Smith. Chernesky.
Nebraska's doing a good job of pinning them to one side of the field. They haven't really let Northwestern set play and switch the point of attack out to that left flank. We've seen them a ton on this right side of the field.
So approaching the final 10 minutes of this opening half. Stick with us at the break. We'll talk this match. We'll also take a peek at men's action as well, and the standings and the situation as they prepare for the tournament a little later on. This is quarterfinal action. Semifinal action will be right here on BTN beginning Friday, and the championship match next Sunday. The host site still to be determined. Showing her confidence there. Aubrey Quarter. Now breaking the initial pressure. Here comes Nebraska. Bilt has some time on the ball. Slices it across the field there, and it falls for Chernesky. This is Clausen. Eases her way by Meta in a routine one. Gathered in by Courtney Clem. Should say Lauren Clem.
Lots of Clems in the Big Ten in goalkeeping situations. It's easy to mix them up.
Battle, you can tell they saw one another just 12 days ago.
And a close game at that. Both teams have just kind of lost their rhythm a little bit.
Miramontes was pestered there by the presence of Maddie Lucas, but it's Nebraska with the clean exit. Over the top, visions of J.C. Johnson. Flag stays down. Johnson, the left foot, unable to get through. A corner upcoming here late in the half.
Great ball in here, so much composure from Miramontes, and then just pops this ball up and over Northwestern's back line. But Hannah Davison, so tenacious defensively, comes across, slides, keeps that out, and sends it for a corner kick.
Looks like J.C. Johnson thought that she was going to have more time, and all of a sudden she looks in the rearview mirror and two Wildcats flying in to save the day. Sydney Miramontes off the side netting.
That's what makes Northwestern so hard to beat, though, is those two center backs for Northwestern and Sharples and Hannah Davison, as well as Lauren Clem that you see on the ball right here. There's just this triangle of them in the midfield that have a ton of experience together, and they are so hard to beat offensively.
The heart of the defense, in the words of their coach, Michael Moynihan, and showing some heart there to save a potential chance. Meta's pass, read out of the back by Miramontes. Johnson unable to get positioning there on Nakia Smith. Smith and Johnson have been going at it here in the opening 45. Well, everybody swarms her, J.C. Johnson. McClanahan has replaced Bilt, but it's calmed down by Meta Northwestern. So Indiana's got one back. That's a close one between Minnesota and Indiana. Approaching the final whistle. They're seeing the size advantage. Davidson, as Minnesota now is pulled back to recapture that 2-goal lead.
They're hungry to host this Big Ten tournament.
Hungry for a goal here in the opening half. Evanston, Illinois. Just about 5 minutes to go in the opening half. Davison behind it for the Wildcats. Floats a nice ball. Meta was going to try to lunge onto that, but instead it's the keeper, the kick, quick distribution from Audrey Corder. Flynn steaming down this near side, grabbing a hold of her shirt was Nakia Smith, and that's why the free kick is awarded.
It's a good physical battle between those two. Great job by Nakia Smith to track all the way back from their attacking box.
Sydney Miramontes lining things up for Nebraska. Getting ahead to it despite a lot of white shirts around.
Such a good service. Her free kicks are so dead on every time. Great flighted ball right into the back of the 6. Here you see it's got some backspin on it. It's easy to get up and on the top of it. But Lauren Clem is able to keep it.
It was the soft foot of Sydney Miramontes, and it looked like it was instant replay, watching it, rather slow motion, watching it live.
It was. She put such a good touch on it. She's got that backspin, and she places it deep enough where it's right behind the back line, but too far from the keeper. She's got a great service from her.
So this grudge match continues. Curved in, but only Nebraska around there. It was Lucas with the service. Have a chance to do it again. This time, though, from the corner. Higher hanging service, and the long arms of Corder there to catch it.
Corder, she's not afraid to come off of her line and just demand that space in front of her goal.
Keeping the passing on the carpet here, Northwestern, and the collisions continuing. Korhonen popping back up for the Wildcats. This is just the beginning of the Big Ten Women's Tournament. Quarterfinal Sunday, fighting for the opportunity to play Friday in the semifinals. Using their size to rise up and get a touch on that, but instead now it's Nebraska possessing. Breezing by everyone as we get set for the final minute of the first half. J.C. Johnson trying to sneak in. Contained there by Nakia Smith. Caroline Flynn. They're working against Smith. Johnson unable to deflect it towards goal. But a dangerous ball sent in by Nebraska here late. Looking for one last try here in the first half. Miramontes, there's J.C. Johnson. The flag comes up on J.C. Johnson.
See that long ball in from Miramontes again. J.C. Johnson started her run off sides, comes back and has a great flick, but definitely a couple steps off sides there.
So some good half chances by either team. Nebraska and Northwestern, not a surprise, scoreless after the first 45 minutes. Do you give the advantage to any team, or was it pretty 50-50?
I thought Northwestern had more opportunities offensively. I was surprised. Nebraska's formation on paper is so attacking minded, and I thought they played a lot of defense. They drew some players back that I thought would be tough for Northwestern to handle defensively. But overall, a very balanced first half.
J.C. Johnson, a couple of opportunities, a few long balls by the Wildcats as well. The keepers, Lauren Clem and Aubrey Quarter, were called upon a few times, but no glorious clear-cut chances from either team.
Yeah, I thought both teams in the beginning had a ton of offense going from either side. And then I think they both kind of lost their way a little bit as things got a little bit more physical, things got more direct for each team. So we'll see how they come out, if we'll see some formation or tactical changes coming into the second half.
And what a test it's going to be for any of these teams to score a goal. It's Nebraska coming into this game with 4 consecutive shutouts. And it's nice to have Michael Moynihan join us live on the headset, in charge of this Northwestern program. And Michael, goals are going to be at a premium this afternoon. What's your advice on how to get that goal in the second half to your team?
A little bit more precision in the final third, definitely. We've gotten up into the attacking part of the field and come very, very close. A close offside call on one, and a couple of set pieces I thought we were dangerous on. Just have to keep our focus in that part of the field. Both teams are very stingy, we know that.
Michael, thanks for the time. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
He said it, Coach. Both teams pretty stingy first 45 minutes on the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan, just north of Chicago and Evanston, Illinois. It's 0-0 at the break here in Illinois. About to start the second half, John Walker, the head coach of Nebraska, is kind enough to join us live. And John, your style there in the first 45 minutes in terms of attacking, there are a lot of countering. Will that be a similar recipe here in the second half?
Probably. I think, we want to be the better team in transition, and we have had some good transitional attacks.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Big Ten fans, BTN to go is now fully customizable. Check out all the new features of the app. Watch live games and daily video from BTN, as well as fresh, real-time social content about your school, stories from BTN.com, and much more. Update yours or download the app today. Available in the App Store and Google Play. And about to play here in the second half. So, if you're Northwestern and you know that Nebraska does it well and they plan on doing it again using that counter-attacking style, how do you answer if you're the Wildcats?
They've done a good job defensively. They've kept one tight on J.C. Johnson as she kind of drives into the midfield, and the other 3 close in tight behind her. So they've done well to deal with those big driven balls in. They just need to do a better job of holding the ball, and we saw that with Maddie Lucas when she got into the game. They had a much better attack with her up top.
And if you're Nebraska, J.C. Johnson playing very high up the field. A concern could be that she gets too separated and she's out there on an island all by herself.
Exactly, and we saw that a little bit in the first half where she's so high and disconnected from her midfielders that she can't really hold the ball up. It's 1v4 sometimes in those situations. So to get a couple more in line with J.C. Johnson for her to play with will make her that much more dangerous.
And playing off her line, the freshman goalkeeper, Aubrey Corder for Northwestern. 12 days ago, the Wildcats, they did try one long shot, so she could possibly be vulnerable to that long shot or a little chip over her head.
She comes out deep, especially if you see some longer throw-in type situations. She likes to be really aggressive off her line.
As Amanda Hilton whistled for the foul. Pushing down Nandi Mehta.
Amanda Hilton stepping in for Courtney Clausen in that holding mid spot. Very good, very aggressive. And you'll see her just kind of sit right in front of that back three to solidify that block of defense.
Clausen took a knock earlier in this match, clashing heads, and there's the keeper out. Aubrey Corder getting a piece of the Northwestern Wildcat.
See a long ball in right over the head of Miramontes, and then Corder comes way off of her line like we just talked about. She's aggressive. She has to keep her hands up in the air. The ball's kind of bouncing in. And Fael gets the hard end of it.
This match has had a rugged tone, and it continues here into the second.
It's what the Big Ten Conference in general is known for. It's a very physical, tough style of play. It's definitely evolved over the years to be more of a soccer technical style, but Big Ten soccer is hard, it's tough, especially when it gets to this point in the season.
Michael Moynihan this week was saying that you have to earn your time on the ball versus Nebraska. What did he mean by that, Jackie?
You know, they're either high pressing you, so it's hard to get anything going, or they're so compact and disciplined when they hold a lower confrontation line. You know, it's funny because every time I've done a Nebraska game, each coach has mentioned that it's so hard to play against Nebraska. I think they just throw a couple different styles at you. They can do the transition, counter-attack style play, or they play a little bit. They make it tough defensively, and then fly numbers forward that make it hard to sort.
Watching that big freshman keeper back there between the sticks for Nebraska, if I'm an attacking player for Northwestern, going to be very aware of her when you're moving forward.
You are, and she actually in club used to split games, one half in goal, one half up top, so she's also very comfortable with the ball at her feet, which is a huge plus when you have a goalkeeper who's great on the ball. She's got a lot of upside to her game.
Top three on the team in terms of speed and agility, and that's a goalkeeper.
She's got a 26-inch vertical. I mean, just in terms of on paper, she's going to be big time for this program going forward.
Nebraska looking for their 5th consecutive shutout. On the other side, this Northwestern team has only conceded 1 goal at home all season. Some composure there by Chernesky to navigate it forward. A foul on Nebraska. $11 wins for the manager on the left, 14 for the guy on the right, Michael Moynihan, their best regular season since the late 90s. Vigiano will let Maida right-footed in. The red shirts rising up first. There for a second look, off balance, cracked wide by Meta. More keeping things safe for Northwestern.
Great touch by Flynn on this outside.
Wisconsin and Michigan level terms in the 40th minute of other quarterfinal action. Peterson does not rush things out of the back, as now they'll switch the conversation. There's Sammy Reinhard, but it's Northwestern directing it to a safer area. The long hit, it's a one bouncer off the foot of Sammy Reinhart. Not a problem for Lauren Clem. It's Reinhart. Missed 8 games with a high ankle sprain. They really missed her, considering that she's the best passer on this team.
She was a big hole for this Nebraska team. You know, she's been a little bit quiet today. She's usually very involved in the game. We haven't said her name a whole lot. I think she's just getting caught in between Meta and Chernesky in that midfield position.
Just an effortless turn there out of the back by Sydney Miramontes. J.C. Johnson checks her options around. Pushing out wide to Carolyn Flynn. Service comes in, rising up was Johnson. Got a touch to it. Picking up the scraps. Shoved right back into the area by Reinhard, but it comes down for Northwestern, and out of the dust, it's Vigiano.
Johnson is just so fearless on those 50-50 balls.
Here's Gorman drawing some attention. And tracking back and breaking things up, it's the Huskers on it. Forcing the situation in the midfield is Northwestern. The emotions beginning to simmer.
On the field and off, this crowd is very into this game today.
It is tournament time after all. As Flynn is slowed down a little bit. Doubleheader of soccer action this afternoon. It was earlier Northwestern downing Penn State in men's action, but this is women's quarterfinal from Evanston, Illinois.
We're almost seeing a flip-flopped version of our first half. Nebraska is definitely pinning Northwestern and getting some more offense generated, and Northwestern's the one trying to find those more direct balls into their front line, trying to counter and quickly transition out of their back.
Gorman so quick on the ball. That allows Northwestern to maintain possession. And dropped in. Courtney Scott was nearest. 13 combined shots of this game, 9 on target. Who can find that goal? J.C. Johnson has it graze off of her head as it was almost laid off perfectly for her.
Haley Hansen with a great flick on here. Gets up, drives it right into J.C. Johnson's run, but hits the back of J.C. Johnson and almost wills it right into Lauren Clem's hands.
Haley Hansen has been a force. A slow start, 1 goal in her first 32 games, 9 in her last 21, and there, almost getting on the end of an assist, setting up J.C. Johnson with the flick on.
She's very good at kind of poaching in those little areas between backs, between mids and backs.
Flynn and Hansen marching their way up the field. Now joining the scene is Carolyn Bilt. Well defended by Northwestern. The clean exit, but they push it right back to Nebraska.
Aggressive Hannah Davison coming through into that midfield to win that bouncing ball. She's just fearless when it comes to 50-50 challenges.
Faye the other way for Northwestern, but cover back quickly. It's Allie Peterson, but recovered by Gorman. Lays it in and knocked wide. Faye again there in front for the Wildcats.
You see the ball here. Nebraska's got some numbers behind it. Just a miss clear, and then Fayal gets behind.
Fayal has been around goal a lot more here in the second half. Vigiano. Now it's Gorman. It's Vigiano. A little perplexed, looking for someone that's open.
Nebraska has just got everyone dropped behind the ball right now.
Now ready to counter. It was Peterson who was slowed up in the midfield by Chernesky. Stepping up is Miramontes. Haley Hansen goes for a little jog, but it's recovered by Nakia Smith. Who's going to make that mistake? Who's going to cough it up out of the back to concede that first goal?
This game is just getting so stretched right now. Northwestern's backline pretty deep. Nebraska's isn't even up to half right now, so there's so much space between lines here. And these backs just need to be a little bit more comfortable on the ball. Be okay with passing it back and forth, shifting defenses, and being more patient in terms of finding seams.
Moore looking to find a seam upfield.
Much better there by Northwestern to break those lines.
Gorman. Back to goal is Courtney Scott. Meta 1v2. And she was rushed a bit as a result, losing it. But the Wildcats enjoying some possession here on their home field.
Enjoying possession, but haven't been able to do it in their attacking half so far this game. They get the ball here in these deep spots, find one and break loose a little bit, but then it's turnovers like that right into Nebraska.
Now if Nebraska could take advantage of those turnovers and counter quickly.
And like we talked about, that's where they get stuck, is because JC Johnson's on that island up top. When they win it and find her, she just doesn't have anybody to play with right now.
It was Sinclair Miramontes spreading out. Reinhard will play it down the far side. Brandt was able to get a foot to it, but that's about it. Here's Courtney Scott now on the right side. Vigiano loses it. JC Johnson looking to tear the other way. Johnson plays it into space, trying to go back for JC Johnson. Just out of range as she was teaming up there with Brandt going forward.
JC Johnson finds the ball in that gap between backs and midfield, does a great job at drawing in two defenders and then slots it to her right to Meg Brandt. And Meg Brandt tries to find her again on the back post, but it's just wide.
Problem is, yeah, Kayla Sharples was hanging right with JC Johnson all the way to that far post.
This is a good job by Northwestern to sort that defensively. JC Johnson flying with the ball at her feet at you isn't the easiest to solve.
We saw Brandt and Johnson with that 2v1 situation in the opening half. Brandt elected to shoot, but there she spreads it around, or at least tried to.
They play really well off of each other when they find themselves in the attack together. I think both lines right now are just a little bit slow to close space. And this game is just so wide open right now.
Sinclair Miramontes trying the direct approach there into the area. Built with a deep throw. Built swings it in. Brandt. Flynn tries to settle for the shot. And then Flynn fights a little too hard to try to recover it and is whistled.
You see Flynn on her left, tries to get a cut back to her right. And as she's driving back for that ball, just gets a little tug of her shirt.
It's Nakia Smith. Visions there of Fayel down the right side for Northwestern. Haley Hansen was fouled as we look at the schools, the Big Ten and the RPI top 25. Nebraska and Northwestern keeping some good company.
And that RPI is so important going into postseason play. You have a higher RPI, sometimes it negates a not so good regular season schedule or conference season results. If you have that good RPI, you still have a good chance at making NCAA tournament play.
The press coming there from Flynn, but Northwestern beats it. Under 25 minutes to go in this second half. This is quarterfinal Sunday. Nebraska and Northwestern battling for the right to play the semifinal Friday and maybe the championship next Sunday of the Big Ten tournament. Davison tries the long approach. Peterson reading it out of the back. Maddie Lucas getting ready to come back onto the pitch for Northwestern. Courtney Scott, visions there of Cassidy Gorman, who was streaming down the near side, broken up by Nebraska. Sammy Reinhardt wants the switch. She was ready for it.
What a ball by Miramontes to be able to take that on her right foot and drive it right into Reinhardt's feet.
She's done that a few times this game. It looks like a skills competition in an all-star game, the way she could drop it down.
It does. She places it right on their feet. With pace, too. It's not lofting. There's not backspin on it. It is driven right at foot height.
Safely directed away by Caitlin Moore, and we look at that soft touch one more time.
You see, it's just a driven ball, lands right at the feet of Reinhardt, and they're able to keep possession and switch play.
Reinhardt was asking for it the whole time, and then when it arrives perfectly, almost a little surprised.
I think she thought her passing channels were cut off and that they missed the opportunity, and Miramontes was able to slide it straight through into her feet.
Both Sinclair and older sister Sydney by 3 years. A key piece of that back line for Nebraska. And they feed off of each other well. There's young Sinclair, Miramontes breaking things up again. Built. Haley Hansen has some room. Hansen crafts the shot through, diving across to make the save is Lauren Clem. Best looking opportunity for Nebraska all afternoon. Handball there by Meta goes undetected. And it's calmed down out of the back by Sydney Miramontes. Things settle down again. Overshooting Haley Hansen with that pass. Smith and Chernesky taking their time out of the back. J.C. Johnson is whistled for the foul as we look at that Nebraska chance earlier.
Great ball in here. And I love this attacking, aggressive touch by Haley Hansen. Draws a defender in and gets it onto her left and goes for the shot herself. Northwestern does a good job at coming in and clogging up that space. But Haley Hansen, great job at attacking that line right from her first touch.
Big Ten goalkeeper of the year, Lauren Clem, and she showed why there. Starting to sense that Nebraska's getting a little closer. We'll see if Northwestern can answer with some chances of their own. Reinhardt not shy about brushing back to her freshman keeper. Lots of possession from the Wildcats. We'll see if they can do something with it. Fail, couldn't hold it. Davison has enjoyed a strong game out of the back, number 23 in white for the Wildcats.
So consistent, so good defensively. Just has that fearless, tenacious, tight mentality when it comes to defense. So she's so hard to beat when you have the ball.
Recovered in the midfield by Nebraska. Nakia Smith couldn't keep it, as some fresh legs for both teams now coming onto the field. We look at the tournament bracket, and it was all revenge earlier today. It was Penn State that won this championship last year 2-0. Rutgers today switches the scoreline on the favorites, or the second-seeded Nittany Lions, one of the favorites. A lot of people expected Minnesota having the easiest task today of those top three teams, and they respond dusting off Indiana. Reinhardt. Caroline Flynn. Service into the area. Sprouting up was J.C. Johnson. Rep seeing a little time, whereas number 53 there in the midfield for the Wildcats.
She's very smart with her positioning. She's aggressive on tackles, and she's another one who has that smaller frame, but she's so good in the air.
Nebraska showing composure here in possession. Built. Sends it in. They fight to win it again, and this is carved over the bar from long range.
See a ball come out to the right here at Caroline Flynn's feet, and then a great diagonal ball in. And these two, again, they've been going at it all game. Kayla Sharples and J.C. Johnson. What a matchup these two have had. Kayla Sharples doing a great job to keep her in front. And again, she's so good on 50-50 balls. She's got that tall, athletic frame that she's hard to win anything against.
But you just have to get loose for one, especially in a game like this.
Exactly. Northwestern's got Maddie Lucas again up top. I just really like what she brings to the table for Northwestern.
Reinhardt out to knock that down for Nebraska. Helped ahead by Built. Smith got a touch to it, and that allows Northwestern to recover. It's lumped over the top by Built. There's Sharples. Hurriedly ahead. Meta and Northwestern bumped off the ball. In the meantime, Ochoa picks her head up, creeps a little closer, looking to slot it through to J.C. Johnson, missing the connection.
See that ball come in centrally for Nebraska. She looks to slot it. Looks like she's going to take it onto her left for a shot, and then just a mistouch into the box.
J.C. Johnson not happy with the decision. 42 career goals, 11 on the season for J.C. Johnson. But both teams have been shut down so far with just over 14 minutes to go in this second half. Able to get the free hit there was Northwestern. And Gorman got a lash to it right to the keeper.
Both these keepers just have such a wide wingspan and are so tall. They take up so much space in that goal with their height. You've got to have some dangerous, clean opportunities to get the ball past either of these two.
It could be demoralizing for an attacking player to pick up their head and see that big keeper in front of them.
They can, and both of them have taken such great angles and put themselves in great positions when they've needed to. They've done a great job.
A meandering attack here from Northwestern that began with Vigiano, back to Gorman, returning to Vigiano, but the intervention there from Caroline Flynn. Just over 13 minutes to go. Vigiano gets it back from Moore. Fayel will swing it in. Every touch, this back line so watchful not to make a mistake to remember here late in the game. There's Lucas, number 4, but it's popped free by Nebraska, trying to shirk loose down that far side. Is Huber down that left side for John Walker's Nebraska team. They've had the best chance in this second half. It was softened by a diving stop from Lauren Clem. Out of the dust, it's Vigiano. Getting pushed down there was Lucas, and it's whistled. Rumbling here late in Evanston, Illinois. Well, with extra soccer and overtime looming, it'll be interesting to see if any of these two teams take some chances. Reinhardt, some room. That hit from distance, never a threat.
There's some space to make some changes formationally for sure. Nebraska's already got that 3 back. They like to pull Caroline built in on that left side, so it almost looks like a 4 back to start. But we'll see if they fly their withdrawn forwards up a little bit more instead of leaving J.C. Johnson up top kind of by herself. They've got a lot of options to add to their attack in the last 10 minutes here.
Lucas and Gorman march down the near side of the field. It's Cassidy Gorman met there by Allie Peterson, and she dislodges it. Flynn the other way for Nebraska. Tangled up at her feet a bit. Still be a throw for the visitors. Room for Hansen to dart up the middle of the field. Johnson has knocked off the ball. There to recover it is Flynn. Quick touch by Hansen. J.C. Johnson angling her way in, but forced to a safe area. It was Davidson hanging with her the whole time. A little more energy into this game. Gorman waits for everybody with Lucas. Tries to go back to Gorman. She'll finally catch up to it. 1v2, and she finds some support. Caitlin Moore comes to the scene. Ricocheting off of a defender. Dropped in by Davison. Vigiano was looking to launch that shot away, but quickly to it, it's Nebraska. More of an exciting pace here for the final 10 minutes. Huber is fouled. Nakia Smith on the other end of it. Looks like Brandt is getting ready to come on here late for Nebraska. It's the free kick, ripped in. Clem gets her paws to it.
So good by Clem. That is such a dangerous ball by Miramontes, flighted into the box.
And the work out of the corner by the Wildcats. And it's Gorman emerges with it. Hurried a little bit. Miramontes right back over the top for Nebraska. As the flag was coming up, another look at that free kick.
Another dangerous ball in by Miramontes. So good by Lauren Clem to get up off of her line, punches it up and out to the other side of her box. We'll start to see a lot more direct play up and down the field as we close out this game, just to try and get one more last-ditch effort on goal.
What a drive out of the back by the freshman keeper.
She's got some distance on her punts.
Gorman looking to shake loose down the left side, plays a dangerous ball into the area. Vigiano was running onto it, but a lot of cover back for Nebraska.
Vigiano had a clean shot at it, but Haley Hansen comes in so fast and hard, sliding to keep that ball from a shot on frame.
Nebraska's substitution is number 15, Hilton, replaces number 26, Huber, and number 32, Brandt, replaces number 28, Northwestern's substitution,
Jarentowski right off the bench, her first touch. She influenced this game in the opening half off the bench. Trying to do the same here. Sue was out of play. Construction everywhere around all the athletic fields here at Northwestern, improving things. It's tough to recognize this place if you haven't been here in a while.
I walked up and it looked like a whole different facility. It's very impressive what they've done out here. It's a very special field. This is one of my favorite places to play at when I was at Illinois.
And typically, earlier in the day, it looked like a rough Atlantic Ocean, and it's calmed down a little bit now. There's J.C. Johnson. Quickly onto it was Sharples. Probing there for any mistake is Amanda Hilton. Free kick for the Wildcats, under 5 minutes to go in regulation. And there's some of those shining, sparkling facilities that didn't exist a few short years ago. And maybe almost a serene setting now with the calm waters. But Not on the field.
Not on the field. It does make for a gorgeous backdrop, though.
One of the best in all of college sports. Here's Caitlin Moore barging forward for the Wildcats, combining with Jarentowski. And a corner kick upcoming. Seems to be a size advantage for Nebraska in the set pieces. Vigiano will send it in. Easy stuff for the freshman Aubrey Corder.
Both goalkeepers have done such a good job in their 6 on those set pieces.
This is Caroline Bilt. Brandt lays off. The long hit. Launched there by Bilt wide.
I like that effort. I like the deeper half chance opportunity, but with both these goalkeepers, they're just so good in their box. You have to be able to generate something a little bit more dangerous to get something that'll contest either of these keepers.
Amanda Hilton in the closing minutes of regulation will brush on for Bilt. Recovered there by Brandt. Sydney Miramontes directing traffic as she inches forward. Having to go back for it is Flynn.
One of the better sequences by Nebraska.
That is until Hannah Davidson arrives on the scene to take it away. Trying to filter it through to J.C. Johnson. Jarentowski gets it back from Moore. Maida's closed down. J.C. Johnson couldn't settle it down with that initial touch, and it allows Northwestern to nullify the attack.
1 minute remaining in regulation. 1 minute.
Final minute of regulation. A spot in the semifinals this Friday is at stake.
Tons of emotion, tons of motivation. Doesn't make overtime any easier physically at this point in the season, though.
Half a minute to go in regulation. Nosing around there is Bilt, but it's Nakia Smith. Lucas angles her way in, the desperation last try, skipping into the hands of Aubrey Corder. Well, not a surprise. Northwestern, the second best goals against in the conference coming into this game. Nebraska 4 straight clean sheets. I guess we should kind of expect to be here right now scoreless.
Ties this season have been plentiful. I don't remember a season where there's been this many ties, this many overtime games, but it just speaks to how equal these teams are in this conference this year. But yeah, it was a very balanced half. I think a tie right now is a fair result for these two teams.
We'll see what we have in store next. It's Nebraska and Northwestern. 0-0 after 90 minutes as both coaches contemplate what will be the right solution to finding a goal in extra time. Nebraska and Northwestern having so much fun on the shores of Lake Michigan in this quarterfinal Sunday, they decided to play a little longer. About to start overtime, and a refresher on the rules in postseason play. 2 10-minute sudden victory overtime periods, and yes, if neither team scores, penalties will settle things. Look at the overtime records this season. 2 overtime wins for Nebraska. Northwestern has come away successfully, but remember last time they played at Northwestern, it was against Illinois, and it went to overtime, and it was Kayla Sharple's time.
See that corner come in. Kayla Sharples, there's almost a lot of confusion going on, but Kayla Sharples comes in, is able to get one just over the line in overtime.
So Michael Moynihan talking to his team, and it appeared, especially there later, there were more options for John Walker's team going forward to get that goal. Maybe the better looks of these two teams in the second 45. Agreed.
I think Nebraska came out a little bit stronger in the second half. I thought Northwestern had most of the first half. So we'll see what this overtime first period brings us.
Look at the tournament bracket. Tidy work for Minnesota earlier today over Indiana. Michigan and Wisconsin level terms in the second half. The big surprise, though, this Sunday is Rutgers eliminating Penn State, last year's Big Ten tournament champions. The 7th seed upends the 2-seeded Nittany Lions.
And, you know, going into that last Wednesday night where all the teams had their final game, everything was just so close in the standings. It was all up in the air. No seed was solidified. So yeah, Rutgers was a 7th seed, but going into that game, I think they were maybe sitting at 4th or 5th.
So you're saying there's more parity in the conference,
just
Jackie,
a little
than
bit.
when you played at the
just
University
a little
of Illinois?
bit. You know, we liked Penn State was always such a big opponent. We were always so up for that game. But that being said, I think Penn State won something crazy like 9 straight regular season titles when I was in college. They just really kind of had their program set high and above the rest of the conference. So it is so exciting and impressive to see all these teams just starting to catch up with them, like a Minnesota who's done so well the last couple seasons. There's starting to be a lot more parity, like you said, between all the teams in the Big Ten.
Do you expect the tone to change here now in overtime? Will teams be even more cautious, or will we see similar soccer than we saw in the first 90?
I think they'll be the opposite of cautious. You know, when it's a sudden death overtime, you got to go for it right off the bat. You go for things, try to get something early, because once you score a goal, it's done.
So looking for that golden goal. A reminder, if you're just joining us, the home team in the white shirts, the Northwestern Wildcats. Two of the stingier teams in this conference defensively. 2 giant keepers. And everybody's ready, including Willie, for a little overtime soccer here on the lake. Northwestern, the only team to go unbeaten in the conference at home all season, trying to maintain that. And they open up this extra soccer with a little possession, and now a free kick.
You'll see, like we said, if they'll be cautious or try to go for it. They just sent both their center backs as well as their holding mid, Aspen Rhett, up into the box. So Northwestern is all over these opportunities and flying numbers into the box.
Getting ahead to it, just flicked wide. Jarentowski with the best looking Wildcat try all afternoon.
What a ball in. It's a great flick to the back post. Kayla Sharple's almost the hero again if she would have been just one step further in.
It was Sharples as Jarentowski looked it off. Still in the first couple of minutes of the first potential overtime. And it's the Wildcats who have come out flying here.
Really is in these golden goal overtimes. Whoever can get out the fastest and get these teams pinned, 10 minutes is not that much time. So if you can get forward, pin these backs into their end, you've got the better of the chance in this first overtime 10 minutes.
Meta keeps possession alive for Northwestern. But numbers tracking back, closing things down. There's JC Johnson. All she can do is get a touch to it. Miramontes. Caroline Built lofts it over the top. Well off her line. Quarter begins the distribution for Nebraska. Reinhardt forced to go back with it.
Northwestern's playing a much higher confrontation line. They're starting to high press. Nebraska's kind of sticking to what they know, sticking to what has been successful for them all year, and that's kind of holding that lower confrontation line, keeping JC Johnson up top, and then looking to counter and transition quickly.
Waiting for the ball's arrival there is Gorman. Watched by Built. Made of the cross, skipping into the hands of Aubrey Corder. JC Johnson. Haley Hansen now switching the point of attack. Cruising down the far side is Built. Drives it across the face of goal. There's JC Johnson. Will be a corner.
One of the better attacks by Nebraska. They had it on the right side, were able to switch the point of attack through the midfield, and JC Johnson does a great job at getting end line, getting on this ball, and then driving it back across, and it goes off Hannah Davison for a Nebraska corner kick.
Yeah, not trying the shot there, trying to knock it back into trouble for a teammate to run onto it. Sydney Miramontes will deliver. Knocked around, eventually falls for Jarentowski. The successful switch. Now the exit led by Smith. Trying to go back to Smith, but there is Amanda Hilton to take over for Nebraska.
Just done very well this game at dispossessing Northwestern's offense and keeping it. Just had to step in for Courtney Clausen, like we said, and she's done a great job holding that space.
Amanda Hilton was fouled a little over halfway through the first of two potential overtimes here at Northwestern. This is for the quarterfinals, the chance to play in the semis Friday. Jarentowski tons of numbers back for Nebraska. On for Nandi Mehta. Her long-range attempt is knocked down by Hilton. And Built is fouled by Nakia Smith. Sydney Miramontes behind it for Nebraska. Heavy first touch by Mehta, almost opening things up there for Nebraska. Sinclair Miramontes looking to switch, and she does so successfully. Flynn on for Hansen, will be a throw.
Nebraska substitution, number 28, Rochelle, replaces number 15, number 26, Huber.
So Ochoa and Huber back onto the field for Nebraska. Heaved in by Flynn. Almost getting an opening there was Huber, but it's recovered by Northwestern. Fighting to the end was Jarentowski trying to save things. Looked like she almost had a clash with the camera person down there. It's a tough living down there with her flying around. But everybody's okay. Reinhardt in Nebraska slowing things down. Now ready to launch the attack, led by Caroline Flynn. Looking for that separating touch. Drops it into the area, pushed away by Mehta, and it's pushed further away by the Wildcats.
Nebraska's done a good job at getting themselves back into this game. We saw Northwestern come off the gates hard. But Nebraska's, they've gotten a decent amount of opportunities in the last 5 minutes of this overtime.
Hansen's pass a little behind Flynn. As a result, pouncing on the turnover is Vigiano. Gorman loses it. Back and forth we go. Miramontes laid off by J.C. Johnson. The flag coming up here with 55 seconds to go in the first of two potential overtimes. The freshman keeper hurriedly off her line as it was Zampa coming in. Looking for a mistake now at the other end is J.C. Johnson.
This game is so wide open at this point. Each back's almost at the top of their 18, so much space for midfielders to cover.
It'd be nice if there was no break with the frenetic pace we saw in the stretched out play at times. Just keep rolling on into the second 10 minutes, but we'll take a brief 2-minute pause. And like you predicted, Jackie, that if anything, we might see the opposite of what we saw in the first 90 minutes and things starting to get a little crazy and teams starting to push it. And I think we saw that there in the first 10 minutes of overtime.
We definitely did. And And in that overtime, just because teams are flying numbers forward, you see so much more direct play, which makes it hard to close gaps and really compact your defense. So we see midfielders having to cover a ton of ground, and you just don't get any sort of rhythm offensively. It turns into a little bit of a track meet. I thought Nebraska did a better job at possessing the ball when they had opportunities to, but both teams had their chances in that half.
They sure did. The end of first overtime. One more overtime upcoming, and if nothing is settled, then they'll go to penalties. Quarterfinal Sunday, Minnesota has moved on. Michigan and Wisconsin in the second half. Nothing decided yet. Rutgers, though, the surprise of the day, the 7th seed takes down last year's Big Ten tournament champion, the Penn State Nittany Lions. So the door is open for everybody.
It is, just like it has been really all season. We've had the top 3 seeds kind of hang around that top part of the conference standings for most of the year, but everything else has been so up in the air. There's really not a ton of surprising situations that can come out of this Big Ten tournament.
Are the nervy times over right now for these competitors, considering how much soccer they've played this afternoon? Can they just go out and play, or is it still in the back of their head that it's overtime and one mistake and your tournament run is over quickly?
You know, I think the 10 minutes goes by so fast, and your adrenaline is so high at this point that nerves don't really play a factor in. You're just playing. It's just a competitiveness. You have to kind of let your mental state take over, because physically at this point in the game and at this point in the season, you're fatigued. So mentally you have to be so strong to be able to finish out these last 10 minutes.
Maybe a new wrinkle will be added here from either John Walker or Michael Moynihan in charge of the Northwestern Wildcats. A beautiful backdrop here in late October in Evanston, Illinois. The weather is a little cool, but you certainly can't complain about it this time of the year. This is great soccer weather. This is tournament weather.
This is fantastic tournament weather. One year we were at Minnesota for a tournament, and I think it was 20 degrees outside. So I would take this any day if I was a player, especially given that we're in Chicago.
They can leave it out on the field. Tremendous defensive team, Northwestern. 4 straight clean sheets for the freshman Aubrey Quarter. And Nebraska coming into this game. And the strong defensive presence from both sides continues. Now we'll see if we can get a goal from the run of play. They've quieted down J.C. Johnson as Northwestern. But the quick foul here right from the get-go in the second overtime. That's one way to stop her.
She applies so much pressure, and she has such a presence defensively, but Northwestern's done a great job on her to keep her, like you said, quiet in this game today.
Sydney Miramontes overshooting Haley Hansen. It'll be a goal kick. Seems to be another big sporting event in the Chicagoland area a little later on this evening.
Just a small one.
Jarentowski causes a crowd. Nandi Mehta formulates that attack again down the left side.
She started offsides, but I like how far she pulled out wide to try and spread Nebraska's back line.
Vigiano to the cul-de-sac. Misses Jarentowski. $11 combined saves in this game. 1 extra shot for Northwestern on target. Davison stands over the ball. Just catching up to it. And again, the outstretched palms of the freshman keeper quieting things down. And if they do make it to penalties, we've touched on two big keepers and imposing figures between the sticks for the shooters to stare at.
Unless you're in a tournament in preseason, non-conference play, Big Ten conference, you don't go into penalty kicks. So it'll be interesting to see these players step up. We'll see how the goalies do in between the posts.
Vigiano. Miramontes blasting it out of the back. Aspen rep got a foot to it, trying to go the other way. There's Zampa. Sidney Miramontes cleaning things up. These overtime periods flying by, almost halfway through the second and final one. And an easy claim for Quarter.
We just really haven't seen, even in the second half, any really clean, good opportunities on goal. Both these teams have done a great job defensively at honing in on the other team's attack.
As Ochoa clashes with Kayla Sharples. Ochoa remains down. Sharples limps away. In the meantime, Vigiano trying to get a beat there on Sinclair Miramontes. As Sinclair draws the contact, and we look at that challenge again.
It's a 50-50 ball bouncing in between the two of them. And Kayla Sharples took one to the thigh. And Ochoa just caught one right in the rib, it almost looked like.
Good to see her up. She stayed down for a bit. So 5 minutes to go in overtime. Ochoa sliding into Sharples. This time Sharples moves away. Dealing with the press well. And the first 10 minutes of overtime, we saw more excitement. Looks like these two teams are just waiting for penalties now.
I think they're a little bit tired, fatigue in their legs, especially at this point in the season as well. In this game, it's just so wide open that they're having to cover so much ground.
And a lot on the line. Rep got ahead to it. Force there coming out of the back was Sidney Miramontes trying to catch her now. Going forward, Northwestern. Some shouts for a handball.
missed opportunity by Northwestern. Sidney Miramontes was drawn way up and out of that back line, but good work defensively by Nebraska to drop another one back in and deal with that transition.
Just over 3 minutes to go. There's Sidney Miramontes. We saw her moving forward with such force earlier as Reinhardt is fouled. The crowd still wondering about that potential handball that they thought they witnessed. Driven in by Miramontes. J.C. Johnson. There Northwestern using their size advantage to take back over. And maybe get a late chance here in overtime. Visions there of Zampa over the top.
So good by Kayla Sharples defensively to start that counterattack.
Will be a quick throw for Hanson in Nebraska. Mayday inadvertently taken down there. Free kick here anyway for Northwestern with 90 seconds to go. Hannah Davidson will drive it in. Will come out. Some contact in the area. A minute to go. Might be on our way to penalties here to decide this quarterfinal match between Nebraska and Northwestern. Vigiano. They congregate in the area, but never a threat. Popping up was Meta. 10 seconds to go in regulation. Comes down for Vigiano, who gave it a drive. Next stop, penalties here between Northwestern and Nebraska. Not a shocking development, but I think a little surprising considering the way these two teams played the first 10 minutes of overtime. I thought we might see a golden goal.
I agree, and I think fatigue set in a little bit. You know, we didn't see as many up and down opportunities. We saw a lot of longer balls played in that didn't really generate anything. So I think fatigue was the biggest issue there. And it's late in the season. These teams are tired. They're physically drained at this point. So any extra little bit of time that they have to put forward is just that much harder for them to produce.
So the physical fatigue might be over, but now the mental fatigue really adds in. Penalties is next. Not a surprise that it took these two teams who have been two of the better defensive sides in the conference. Well, it takes them to penalties to finally settle things.
And we'll see, like we kind of talked about, these penalty kicks are kind of uncharted waters for these teams through most of the season. So it's got to be a mental situation for these teams when it comes down to it.
So Nebraska will shoot first. and physically so tired. Now, trying to not make a mistake in a crucial moment with the spotlight on you.
This is where maybe adrenaline starts to diminish and nerves start to kick back in after that overtime period.
This isn't the norm.
Definitely not the best way to lose, that's for sure.
So Turney the first try. Here on Clem. Rattles the woodwork. First break. And it's a goal. It crossed the line. It did rattle the woodwork, but dropped in past the line. Nebraska opens up the scoring here in the penalties.
You don't usually see a ball that crosses the line bounce back up, but that definitely came inside the post, past the line.
Lucas here on the big freshman keeper, Aubrey Quarter. The little stutter step, and Lucas finds goal. Both shooters successful through round one.
So calm and composed, especially for a freshman. Comes in with their left, just slots it nice and calm into that left side. You see her again. I think she starts to see the keeper move to her left, so she slaps it in to that left post.
The leading goal scorer for Nebraska, 11 on the season, J.C. Johnson. Trying to make it 2 straight for Nebraska. She catches Clem shifting the other way. Easy work for J.C. Johnson.
Takes it on her right. Like you said, sees Clem move just a little bit to her left and drives it home right towards the left side of the goal.
Trying to equalize, Nandi Mehta. And with ease, she slots it home as well.
Mehta just buries this in the upper 90, right in the left side of the goal. Porter didn't guess right, but even if she had, that would have been a very difficult save to make on that shot.
Emily O'Neill trying to make it 3 for 3 for Nebraska. What a diving stop by Clem. And the home folks like it.
Big time save by Lauren Clem. She hits this well, she's got pace on it, but Clem guesses to the right side and just keeps it out of the back of the net. Big time save by Lauren Clem.
Jarentowski to pull ahead for Northwestern. And they like that here in Evanston. So a 3-2 advantage for the Wildcats.
You see her here. Northwestern likes the left side of that goal. Up into that upper 90 on the left.
Caroline Flynn from the spot. Off the goal post. Starting to believe here in Evanston that it might be Northwestern's afternoon.
Flynn steps up, drives this with her right foot, and hits the post. Well struck, well hit, but hits it right against that post that keeps it out.
Kayla Sharples trying to settle things. Low shot right at the keeper. And the freshman there to make the save, Aubrey Corder.
Sharple steps up, takes it with her right, keeps her hips open and tries to slot it in the right side of the post, but Corder reads it well, bodies it out.
Trying to level things, Sammy Reinhart. And Reinhart catches Clem shifting the other way.
She steps up, takes us with her right, goes to her right, sees Lauren Clem move early and slots it home.
Vigiano's try now in the 5th round. Roots the keeper. Vigiano and Northwestern. Hello, semifinals.
What a calm finish by Vigiano to put this penalty shootout away. So exciting for Northwestern. What a big season they've had. Big Ten regular season champs. Home game for quarterfinals, and now they're on their way to semifinals.
Yeah, the dream ride continues. It took them all the way to penalties. Such poise from Vigiano facing the big freshman keeper. Not a problem into the empty net.
So much excitement, and I'm sure a little bit of relief as well. You see here, Northwestern so excited coming off of their half line.
So a season that began on the wrong side for the Northwestern Wildcats. Unexpected injuries, not a problem in the regular season, and so far through the quarterfinals, not a problem either. They